speaking of managers, it was very interesting that you brought this up when we started, when you're saying that there are a couple of managers who are gunning for this United job. And I was in shock, I was in proper shock because I'm like, guys, there's one that really, I don't know, I don't want to say like surprised me, was
Uh,
probably Thomas Tuchel. Because if I'm not mistaken, before he went to Chelsea, didn't we want him?
nah, we
And then
did.
what happened? Was it a case
We
of
did.
we just couldn't get it done, or he just decided to go to Chelsea? I can't remember what the story was around that. But you know what, man? With Thomas Tuchel, I don't want him. You know what I mean? I don't want him because he just seemed like a one-hit wonder. When he was at Chelsea,
Mm.
PSG, was it PSG, ne? It was Chelsea, PSG, and then now he's at Bayern. Man, when was it the past weekend when they got slapped up to Leverkusen? And look, respect to Leverkusen. Javi is doing an awesome job there. Like he has gone, what is it now? Is it 33, 34 games undefeated, unbeaten? It's just win and draws. Like, dude, I'm like, yeah, Liverpool are probably gonna be gunning for him. But I mean, there was a point during this season where Bayern were untouchable. You know, even in Champions League, we're like, yeah, Bayern is taking the Champions League. There's no question about it. And the
Mm.
way Bayern has just fallen, it's so reminiscent of when he was at Chelsea when they're doing so well, and then all of a sudden they just tanked. And that's what's happening at what you call this
Actually,
at Bayern.
actually,
So I wouldn't want
actually,
to, yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
I
Okay.
actually like Tuchel.
Yeah.
I actually do. I think he's one of these modern managers. He's very pragmatic. It's just
Yeah.
it's and when I look at the situations that a lot of these managers are in, it's just one of those things of like it's just not working out. You see, like a Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich,
Yeah.
people can say what they want to say. Yeah, like they're getting smashed, but that team It's sort of it's going through that sort of how can I say a revamp, and they've got a lot of
Yeah.
old players.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's this word I'm looking for?
Old players,
I
and
know it's the same word you're thinking of, but yeah, yeah, go on.
like, like the moment when Arsenal was getting beaten this season, everybody was
Yeah.
worried. Even my pops came to me sending me messages, "Oh, Ateta out," and I'm like, "Wait, but because you're losing a couple of games, relax. This guy Ateta is a very good manager. You guys, if you lose Ateta, it is a wrap for you guys. I don't know who will come in and inject the same energy that you guys have." And then they
Yeah.
started winning. Bayern Munich, unfortunately for them this season, things are just not working out. It happens. It happens. They've been winning the Bundesliga for the past 12 years non-stop. This year, it's just not working out. You look at Girona,
Man.
you look at
Yeah.
Barcelona. No, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make people
I,
understand that in
yeah,
football,
yeah.
you don't just always win. Now with
I
Tuchel,
get that. Yeah.
Tuchel, his time at Chelsea, that guy wasn't given time, bro. The second season, when he
Yeah.
wanted to start implementing his things, it was chaotic, which is normal. You look at us,
Yeah.
we bounced off a good season like last season. Our season last season was actually good compared to everybody else. FA
Yeah.
Cup final, Carabao Cup, third position. Uh, what else did we do? Did we qualify for Champions League or what? I forgot. What did we do last season in terms of Europe?
We qualified for Champions League.
Oh yeah,
We went to, I think, was it the semi or finals of Europa? Um, and yeah, yeah, obviously won the EFL. Went to the finals of FA Cup, got smacked up by City, 2 goals from Gundogan. Fucking hell, just nightmares.
but
But
we
anyway,
didn't end up on a high, but our achievements were a high. And then when you look
yeah,
at how we sort of started again, it was sort of chaotic because there were the injuries and what. People don't understand. Again, let me mention this. Let me give you a prime
okay,
example of how I feel the best way I can explain my point.
all
Remember when
right,
we played Liverpool and
yeah.
we drew? What did
Mm.
people say? What did people say about that game? They said
What it is? Mm.
they were saying that Liverpool were unlucky, and they were saying that
Yeah,
we parked the bus, which
yeah,
I thought that was lazy and naive. Because when that happens to us, when we play a game where we are possession is on a high, the shots on target, what we are shit. Have you ever noticed that?
yeah,
It's like when you don't score or you don't do, even when you have the numbers are on your side, you are shit. And that's what people do. So Bayern Munich right now, when they lose and this, everybody are just looking at them as shit. Tuchel, everybody's just jumping on this bandwagon of this team is whack, this team is this, but they're not whack. Now, which now takes me back to Tuchel. Tuchel, unfortunately for him, he's just looking for a fucking big job. But that guy, when you look at his football, in general, like even the way he explains his tactics and what he's trying to achieve, I think he's actually
yeah,
good. I'm not saying that he should come and take Erik Ten Hag's job. No ways.
yeah,
Because
yeah, 100%.
I am settled with Erik Ten Hag.
But
I heard, sorry.
you see, Ben, like
Uh,
my issue with Tuchel is that I'm not what you call derating him. I rate him as a manager. My thing
yeah.
is that when he was at Chelsea, right,
Mm,
he had a disposal of players, and I think Chelsea have always just had a great disposal of players, right?
mm,
So for
mm,
me, for him to like keep the stability and then tank so hard is so concerning. And the same thing happened at PSG, and the same thing is happening at Bayern. And I do get that every club goes through their phase, because you compared with Arsenal. But when you look at Arsenal and Arteta, right? It was a slow development. A lot of the time, you was getting these like I want to say lesser known players or whatever and everything like that. Maybe a few stars here and there, but you can see it has really been a developing team, a developing side, of youngsters, and that's one thing Arsenal is being praised for lately is the young players that are starting to bring this club back up, right? But at Chelsea, he has always, not always, but he had a disposal of how can I say I don't want to say world class, but he had a disposal of certified players, world
wait,
renowned players,
let
players
me
that
correct.
when you hear their names, you don't even need to go and like research who's this guy, where did he come from, what. Do you get what I'm saying? He had a disposal of quality players. So I'm not saying that he had no excuse not to lose games. You can lose games and go for a run of bad games, whatever. But just the way they tank from like you're in top four and now the following season you're
See,
struggling to even get in the
see,
top 8.
see.
You get what I'm
What
saying?
happened to
And then when
Tuchel
you go to
happened
and then
What happened to
and
Tuchel's
then
happening with Pochettino. Remember, after that winning
yes,
Champions League season, that's when they started buying all these players. And we even started
but
asking ourselves, does Tuchel even want these players that Chelsea are buying? Remember,
But I get it, Ben. But again, that's the point. Because even when you look at Pochettino, right? Yes, everyone can say that, you have to give him time and whatever,
yeah,
but still, this guy is being given a disposal of top quality players that any top side would want in their squad, And it's like, how are you not able to get this together? And I do understand the philosophy of bringing in players and whatever. But there's just certain situations where it's like, look, you've got these players. There's just no way you can be in this position, or there's just no way you can allow this team to tank so hard to the level that it's at. You understand? So obviously in the Premier League it's a bit different because there are a lot of competitive teams. So you could really see how far he tanked when he started dropping in performances and everything like that. PSG, obviously the Farmers League, even if your performances are gonna tank, there's still not enough competition there for PSG to drop that far down. And the same thing at Bayern, like you mentioned, they've been winning Bundes for the past 12 years or whatever. So even if you don't have a good run, or even when your performances start tanking as a manager, you're not really going to see that difference because there's not like there's not like a good amount of teams that can really come and expose how much you have tanked because the team in and itself, even though the manager is not performing, the club is just always going to be on top there. So he really got exposed in the Premier League because he had a very good formidable side, and the way that he tanked in the Premier League was so concerning. You check. So I get your point and understand where you're coming from, but for me personally, I just don't get how and for me, that's why I'm using Chelsea as an example because I know with PSG and with Bayern, even if you're not performing that well, you're still gonna be in that top 4 conversation. You're still gonna be somewhere floating around the top 4 just because the way the league is set up. But in Premier League, you really get exposed. And for me, the way he got exposed in the Premier League, nah, and obviously I don't want Ten Hag to be replaced, but if not even I don't even want to imagine it. But if it's ever a situation where we have to think about getting a new manager for whatever fucked up reason, I do not want Tuchel in that conversation at all, at
I'm
all. And maybe you're right when you're saying that the problem is that he guns for these big jobs, instead of maybe going to like a Spurs or a Leverkusen or you know what I mean, an Atletico or whatever, But man, nah, man,
so I,
Tuchel
I,
is
I
just not the
understand
one
your
for
I,
me,
I
man.
do understand your concerns, D. But that analogy, I think I'm gonna have to disagree. Regardless of you
Yeah,
having all these players at your disposal, it doesn't mean that you're going to win. Doesn't mean that everything is going to be all right, which is evident right now with the current Chelsea team. They have spent billions, 200 million defensive midfielders, Caicedo and Enzo, and those guys look like paper. You understand? They have not yet gone into that groove. They might, like next season. I'm waiting to see the Chelsea, like these players improve. And it's the
yeah,
same thing with Tuchel. Tuchel did well. He had N'Golo Kante, he had these boys, Havertz, what. The next season, because remember, prior to that season, Chelsea didn't have that spending power. They were not allowed to, I think they had a ban or something. So they were not allowed to spend. Then that season they win the Champions League, then boom, they're allowed. And I think maybe Todd Bowley was coming in. Todd Bowley starts spending all this money. We're just seeing all these players going. And we're asking ourselves, does Tuchel want these players? We've asked ourselves this question as well with Manchester United managers. Are we buying these
yeah,
players because the manager wants these guys, or are we buying for the
yeah,
sake of buying? And when we looked at
yeah,
that Chelsea squad, it looked like they were just buying, bro.
yeah,
What you tell me right now? What is the point of buying Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez? What explain that to me? That is one fucking thing that I never understood. But that was just because they were being greedy. Now you've been given that situation. Caicedo and Enzo cannot hold a midfield. They are weak. They need Gallagher. So that's what
yeah.
Tuchel
But,
went through because he had to now
yeah,
start figuring out how he needs to put these players in, and it didn't work. Now that
yeah,
doesn't
he
take
didn't.
away
No,
from the
no,
manager that
wait.
he is.
But you're saying it didn't work. It's him who didn't make it work. You understand what I mean? If Ten Hag
No,
was
I'm
given that squad,
explaining. I'm
if Ten Hag was given
explaining
that squad,
what you
go
think Ten
ahead,
Hag would
go
have
ahead.
done something good.
He would have. Ten Hag would have
You,
figured it out. Ten Hag would have. Ben,
D, D, that
that
okay. Why is Pochettino?
That
Why is
Chelsea squad.
Pochettino failing? Why is Pochettino
Then
failing now?
then he just does.
Explain that to me.
He can't manage the team. He can't
Oh,
manage
so
the team.
Pochettino's weak.
It's I'm not
Is
saying
that what
he's
you say?
weak. They're just some managers who are capable of getting quality players like that and knowing what to do with them. And there's some managers who get that quality of players and don't know what to do with it. Remember there was that time when before N'Golo Kante got injured, and I think it was Tuchel. And Chelsea fans were crying, why isn't N'Golo Kante not starting? Why isn't N'Golo Kante not starting? And then eventually he got
No,
injured
it
for like
was
a
not.
long period of
It
time.
wasn't
And then he
Tuchel.
came back into the
Tuchel
squad.
played. I told you there was a point where I was like, this Chelsea team would have not won this Champions League if it wasn't for N'Golo Kante. That was Tuchel.
100%. 100%.
N'Golo Kante, the next season, got injured when Tuchel was there, and that's when Tuchel started to fix this. Do you understand? They were not going through the rebuild that Pochettino is going through right now, which is tanking them. They didn't have the stability. They just bought all these players. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not trying to defend Tuchel here. What I want people to understand is the situation and the circumstances in which he was thrust in. Because
All
you're
right.
saying that Ten Hag would have done the same job. Well, slow, like when you look at us here right now, things have been slow. They've been slow for us. And then you want to, nah.
Ben, player
Uh,
position for position. Chelsea have got better quality players than us. Position for position. And you're
and you
telling me
think
that
Erik Ten Hag
and you're
will
telling me
walk
that if
in
Ten
there
Hag
and
never
he
had
can
that
play?
quality, If you're telling me that Ten Hag, if Ten Hag has that overall quality, that overall squad quality, you're telling me that he won't be in a better position than what Pochettino is right now. Are you telling me that?
Wait, I think, okay, Ten Hag wouldn't be in a better would be in a better position than Pochettino. So what does this say about Pochettino? Like, are we saying that Pochettino is not figuring out what's going on with Chelsea? Yet we can see that at Chelsea right now, they're riddled with injuries. That team, they've not been. I don't know if you
Yeah,
understand where I'm coming with
but
it.
it's only now. It's only like I get it, Ben. I get it. But what I'm trying to say is, at the beginning of the season, even before they got rid of all the players and some of the players got injured, the Chelsea team had a squad, fam. It had a squad,
Squad
and it
on
still has a
paper,
squad
on,
despite injuries. Yes, I
um,
get that on paper. All right, okay, all right.
what these managers go through. That is my thing here because I'm trying to see. Like, I think Tuchel can also get something out of Manchester United. I don't want him, but I think he can.
With this squad,
This is where the debate is. Yes,
with this squad,
yes.
no way, no way, no
So,
way. There's no
so
evidence
here,
that backs it. There's no evidence that backs Tuchel
no,
can
there's
take
no
this current
evidence.
squad.
No,
This
I don't
current
need
squad,
evidence.
nah.
Yes. Okay, why? Okay, what do you see Erik Ten Hag doing at this Chelsea squad?
I
Like
see him
how?
doing a better
Because
job.
you see,
I see him
so
doing
you
a
see
better
Erik
job.
Ten Hag doing a better job at Chelsea, but you don't see
Yes, because
Tuchel getting us. Okay, you're only
no
saying that
way,
because
no
we're
way,
probably in a
no
better
way.
place.
If Tuchel had the a better squad at his disposal than what we had now and couldn't get the job done, what is he gonna do with these players? If he had to step into the club now, if the roles were reversed and he had the same injuries that Ten Hag has right now, are you telling me that you trust Tuchel to get us to keep the ship stable than Ten Hag in this same situation?
Oh, but
In this same situation, are you telling me Tuchel will be able to keep the ship stable? No. But you know what? You know what? Okay, you know what?
Bayern Munich right now, man, those players are letting him down. I watch Bayern Munich
Yeah,
games. They're letting him
yeah,
down. You look at the left, those defenders that we wanted, defenders that were coveted at one point. Players, Opamecano,
yeah.
all these players were coveted. They're just not doing it. The system is there. Unfortunately, maybe the character of the coach is not working, but then the players are there. That's what I'm trying to
Okay.
say. The players are there.
All right. All right. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Okay. No, it's fine. Let's agree to disagree.
But I don't
Jose
want
Mourinho.
Tuchel. I don't want him. That's
Yeah.
what
No.
I'm saying.
Obviously, we're just
I don't
talking
want
about the
Tuchel.
managers. Obviously.
I don't want
Yeah.
Nagelsmann. I don't want Jose Mourinho. I love
S-
Jose. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he's my guy.
Do you- so do
But
you think when everything? But nah, I think it'll be too late, eh? Because I wanted to say, like, do you think when everything is put in place? And again, I'm just playing devil's advocate, right? For some
yeah,
reason, Ten Hag has to leave, right?
yeah,
Do you think Jose Mourinho deserves a second run at United?
that is a very interesting question. Okay, God forbid Erik Ten Hag gets sacked,
Hmm.
and I don't think so.
Hmm.
I want him, but I don't. I think he's still gonna clash with players in the current squad. That's my
Yeah.
issue. He will
Yeah.
clash with them, and that will just be the end. You know, like it's somebody
Yeah.
who Sancho. He will say, and you know, Jose, his comments,
Yeah.
his digs. You think people think Eric Ten Hag was took a dig at Sancho?
Hey, man.
Wait till you hear the special one. The special one dishes it out. So in terms of, but again, when I listen to Jose now, he looks like he's
Yeah.
more in tune with the latest with the new players.
Yeah.
But nah, man, nah.
Yeah.
God forbid we get rid of. And wait, are there other options, or it's just Mourinho out there?
Man, from what I've heard, it's
No, no, no. In
Mourinho.
your analogy, in your little. scenario? God forbid
I
Erik Ten
think
Hag
I
leaves.
think
And is it
because
only
I
just
think
Jose Mourinho?
I think Mourinho is the only manager that I can see returning back to a club and giving it a second go. I don't see Van Gaal the way he has spoken so poorly of Man United since he left. I don't think even if he was offered the job with whatever
Ah man,
amount of money, even if they give
man,
him a blank check, you'll be like, "Nah, I'm good." You know what
they
I
hurt
mean?
him.
And
They hurt him.
they hurt him exactly. I
Yeah.
don't think any amount of money will get him back into the club. Um, hey man, you know what's funny? I actually heard rumors that Ole might
Be the Bayern
if
Munich coach.
dude.
Interim. I heard. I've been following that, and you know what? If they're trying to get
Yeah,
Ole because of the good feel factor that he did at United, cool, do that.
yeah,
But if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
trying to get those guys firing on all cylinders, he's not your man.
Nope,
He's not your man. And again,
nope.
what history does Ole have with Bayern Munich apart from taking them out of the
Exactly,
Champions League? Like
exactly.
like in football, and as much as
That
people
would
don't
be
want,
a
there will
wrong
always
move.
be that thing. Like
Yep,
this guy came in here, like okay, he's our
dude.
manager, our interim manager, but this guy scored against us. He took a Champions League
I don't,
against
I
us.
don't, I don't, I don't think the fan base will accept him.
I
And
don't think
because,
they'll
and you know
accept him
what?
as well.
And in Europe, we have a rivalry with Bayern. So the fact of them even trying to entertain that, I don't even know how this rumor even came about. But man, I'm
I
calling it cap.
laughed. I
Yeah,
laughed. But
yeah.
again, I understood it because you look at, hey man, Ole has really deceived a lot of people because Ole, not deceived, but because he
Yeah,
was in charge. He was in charge at the
yeah,
time. So you can't say he
yeah.
deceived people. He's the one that put out
True.
this team. He's the one that did it. But Ole
Yeah,
is the one manager that beat Pep back to back, home and away.
dude.
He was doing madness. You know, Ole,
I think it was 3 games in a row or something. Hey man,
yeah,
eh,
smacking
Ole,
City up or left,
dude.
right, and Ole did that.
Yeah,
Whether it was
yeah,
Ole, like his
mm,
tactics, his energy, I don't know. But Ole
yeah,
was at the wheel when we did all those crazy things,
yeah, yeah,
beating
yeah,
teams, scoring. Like you look at our forwards now. Now I'm not
yeah.
taking anything. I'm not trying to take a dig at Erik Ten Hag, but some of the
Mm,
best attacking football we've played was under Ole.
100%,
Mason,
100%.
Martial, Greenwood, sorry, Rashford, all that jazz was
Yeah,
Ole.
yeah,
Those were
yeah,
Ole's attackers.
yeah,
So maybe they are looking into all of that. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know, but
Maybe,
it
maybe
was
as an
so
interim.
strange. It was so
Yeah,
strange. We thought, what?
yeah,
Like there's nobody else
yeah,
out there? Like real, like
yeah,
even Nagelsmann, because this is
yeah,
an interim basis, right? Interim.
yeah,
You're not
yeah,
going
yeah,
to give him the contract at the end of the season. Nah.
yeah,
But
yeah.